Most people view an emergency fund as a boring safety net that sits there doing nothing. But what if $10,000 wasn't just a shield against disaster, but a weapon for your freedom? You've been told to save slowly, but the old rules are designed to keep you stuck in a cycle of financial anxiety. Today, we are tearing down the traditional advice and building your financial fortress from the ground up. I'm going to show you the exact blueprint to hit that $10,000 mark faster than you ever thought possible. If you're ready to stop playing defense and start taking control, you need to see what's coming next. To understand how to build this fortress, you first have to look at why most people are currently defenseless. You've likely spent years following the standard advice of saving whatever is left over at the end of the month. The problem is that there is never anything left over because life always finds a way to take it. Think about the last time an unexpected bill hit your mailbox or your car made a strange noise. That sinking feeling in your chest isn't just stress, it's the physical manifestation of financial fragility. You are living in a state of constant high alert because your margins are razor thin. For decades, the experts told us that a small $1,000 cushion was enough to keep the wolves at bay. But in today's economy, $1,000 barely covers a set of tires or a single trip to the emergency room. The old benchmarks are obsolete and they're leaving you dangerously exposed to the next crisis. Statistics show that nearly half of all adults couldn't cover a minor $400 expense without borrowing money. This isn't just a lack of cash, it's a systemic trap that keeps you focused on survival instead of growth. You can't build a future when you're constantly terrified of the present. The $10,000 mark is more than just a random number on a screen. It represents a psychological threshold where your brain finally shifts from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Once you hit this level, you stop asking if you can survive and start asking how you can win. You are currently fighting against a massive machine designed to separate you from your hard-earned capital. From predatory lending to the endless cycle of lifestyle creep, every part of modern society wants you to stay broke. Breaking free requires you to recognize that your current financial status isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. While wages have remained largely flat, the cost of basic security has skyrocketed over the last few years. Inflation is quietly eating away at your purchasing power every single day that you don't have a plan. You are running a race on a treadmill that is slowly speeding up against you. This is the environment where most people spend their entire lives, never realizing they are one bad week away from total ruin. To build your fortress, you must first acknowledge that the traditional path is a dead end. It's time to stop being a victim of the economy and start becoming the architect of your own wealth. To understand how to build this fortress, you have to look at why the current system is failing you. For decades, the financial industry has profited from your confusion and your reliance on high-interest debt. They want you to believe that saving $10,000 is a marathon that takes years of painful sacrifice. Historically, a simple savings account was enough to keep a family afloat during hard times. But today, the game has changed because the value of your labor is being decoupled from the value of your currency. Relying on outdated methods is like trying to fight a modern war with a wooden shield and no armor. Most people fail because they treat their savings like a stagnant pool of money they can never touch. This mindset creates a psychological barrier that makes every dollar saved feel like a loss of freedom. You need to realize that every cent you set aside is actually a soldier being recruited for your private army. Think back to the last time an unexpected bill landed on your desk and your heart started racing. That physical reaction is the result of living without a structural foundation beneath your feet. Your financial fortress is designed to eliminate that stress by turning life-altering emergencies into mere inconveniences. Speed is your greatest ally in this process because momentum creates its own energy. When you see your balance grow rapidly, your brain releases the dopamine that fuels further discipline and focus. We aren't just looking for a slow trickle of change, we are aiming for a total financial overhaul. Before we dive into the specific mechanics, you must commit to leaving your old financial identity behind. The version of you that struggled to save $1,000 cannot be the one who builds a $10,000 fortress. You are about to adopt a new set of rules that prioritize your future over your temporary impulses. This transition begins with a brutal realization that your current pace is actually a slow-motion disaster. You've been waiting for a lucky break or a massive raise to solve your problems, but that day is never coming. The system is designed to keep you comfortable enough to stay quiet but broke enough to keep working. Everything changes the moment you stop viewing your income as a paycheck and start seeing it as fuel for your fortress. You are currently leaking capital through 1,000 tiny holes that you've been conditioned to ignore. It is time to stop the bleeding and realize that your financial survival depends on a radical shift in strategy. The old way of thinking tells you to cut back on coffee and wait 30 years for compound interest to save you. That lie is the very thing keeping you vulnerable to every market swing and corporate layoff. You don't need a piggy bank, you need a war chest that can withstand a direct hit from the global economy. Look at your bank statement not as a record of your life, but as a battlefield report showing where you are losing ground. Every subscription you don't use and every impulse buy is a soldier you've surrendered to the enemy. This is the moment you decide that not one more dollar will be wasted on things that don't buy your freedom. This realization hits like a physical blow when you calculate the true cost of your current trajectory. If you continue at your current rate, you are essentially gambling with your family's future and your own peace of mind. The stability you think you have is an illusion built on the hope that nothing ever goes wrong. We are breaking that illusion right now by introducing the concept of the aggressive reallocation phase. You aren't just saving money anymore. You are reclaiming stolen territory from a lifestyle that has overextended your resources. This is the irreversible point where you stop being a consumer and start being a commander. The crisis isn't coming in the future. The crisis is the fact that you've been living without a fortress for this long. Every day you spend without that $10,000 cushion is a day you are giving away your power to your boss and your creditors. You are one bad decision or one corporate restructuring away from a total collapse. This is your line in the sand where the old version of your financial life officially ends. You are no longer asking for permission to be wealthy or waiting for the economy to improve before you take action. The blueprint for your $10,000 fortress starts with this single, uncompromising decision to change your destiny. This decision isn't just a mental shift. It's an immediate declaration of war against your own bad habits. You are cutting the ties to your old lifestyle and identifying the leaks that have been draining your potential for years. There is no going back to the comfort of ignorance once you see the path forward. You will feel the resistance immediately as you start to prioritize your fortress over temporary pleasures. Your friends might not understand why you're suddenly obsessed with hitting this goal, but their confusion is a sign of your progress. You are choosing a temporary period of intensity to secure a lifetime of absolute certainty. Every dollar you redirect from a mindless purchase into your fortress is a soldier being deployed to the front lines. You are discovering that you actually have the resources to win, but they've been scattered and wasted until now. This realization changes everything because you finally see the math of your own liberation. The conflict between who you were and who you are becoming ends right now with a radical commitment to speed. We are moving past the theory and into the high-velocity tactics that will flood your account with cash. Your mission is clear, and the clock is officially ticking on your journey to $10,000. You start this journey with a massive burst of adrenaline and a long list of expenses to cut. But within 48 hours, the world begins to push back against your new resolve with surprising force. The convenience of your old life starts calling your name the moment you feel a hint of hunger or boredom. You will quickly realize that the big expenses aren't the only enemies trying to breach your walls. It is the small, automatic transactions that feel insignificant in the moment but act like a slow leak in your ship. These tiny charges are designed to be invisible, making them the most dangerous threats to your initial momentum. Then come the skeptics and the well-meaning friends who do not understand your sudden shift in priorities. They will invite you out for a quick drink or a celebratory dinner, unaware that they are inviting you to sabotage your own fortress. Saying no feels like a social betrayal, but every yes to them is a no to your future security. You will face the immediate temptation to label every minor inconvenience as a legitimate emergency. A flat tire or a broken appliance can feel like a sign that you should give up and go back to your old ways. You must learn to distinguish between a true crisis and a temporary hurdle that requires a creative solution instead of your cash. Many people fail here because they hit one snag and decide the entire strategy is impossible for someone in their position. They treat a single slip-up like a total defeat and retreat back into the safety of their debt-fueled habits. This is the exact moment where your mental toughness is tested more than your bank account balance. Your first instinct might be to look for a second job or a side hustle before you have even mastered your current cash flow. This is a common mistake that adds more stress without fixing the underlying structural issues in your spending. You need to discover the hidden capital already sitting in your life before you try to pour more water into a leaky bucket. Your brain is hardwired to seek comfort and avoid the perceived pain of restriction at all costs. It will try to convince you that you deserve a reward for your hard work, even if that reward costs you your freedom. Recognizing this internal sabotage is the first step toward reclaiming control over your financial destiny. As you push through these initial barriers, the resistance from your environment only gets stronger and more sophisticated. The world does not want you to have $10,000 in the bank because a person with options is a person who cannot be controlled. You are starting to see that this is not just about money, it is a battle for your autonomy. You might start by cutting back on the obvious things, like dining out or that daily coffee run. But you'll quickly realize that these small tweaks are just a drop in the bucket compared to the massive leaks in your budget. The real obstacles are the hidden subscriptions and the automatic payments that have been draining your account in silence for months. When you start saying no to expensive weekend plans, your social circle will likely push back with subtle guilt or confusion. They'll tell you that you're being too extreme or that you need to live a little while you're young. These voices aren't trying to help you, they are simply projecting their own financial insecurities onto your new mission. Just as you gain some momentum, a minor setback like a flat tire or a broken appliance will threaten to derail your entire plan. This is the moment where most people give up and revert to their old habits of relying on credit cards. You must see these obstacles as tests of your resolve rather than reasons to abandon the fortress you are building. You'll soon discover that saving alone isn't enough to hit your $10,000 goal with the speed you require. There is a massive gap between your current savings rate and the high-velocity growth needed to reach your target before burnout sets in. This realization is painful, but it forces you to look for more aggressive ways to flood your account with capital. This gap is where most people surrender because they realize their math simply doesn't add up to a fast victory. You are facing a hard truth: your current income is a fixed variable while your ambition is infinite. To bridge this divide, you must stop playing defense and start an all-out assault on your earning potential. You've been told that working more hours is the only way to increase your cash flow, but that is a trap designed to trade your life for pennies. The real battle is fought by identifying high-leverage opportunities that exist right under your nose. You are not looking for a second job, you are looking for a strategic advantage that multiplies your output. Look around your home and see the graveyard of past impulses that are currently holding your $10,000 hostage. Every unused gadget and dusty piece of furniture is a brick in your fortress that hasn't been laid yet. You are sitting on a goldmine of liquidated assets that could accelerate your timeline by months if you have the courage to let them go. Your ego will try to convince you that these items have sentimental value or that you might need them someday. This is a lie your brain tells you to keep you anchored to your current level of mediocrity. Real freedom doesn't come from owning things, it comes from the absolute certainty that you can handle any crisis without breaking a sweat. Traditional budgeting is a slow death by 1,000 cuts that ignores the power of aggressive income generation. While you are busy worrying about the price of eggs, the wealthy are focused on expanding their means to make those costs irrelevant. You must shift your focus from shrinking your life to expanding your capacity to capture value from the marketplace. This is where you initiate a short-term, high-intensity sprint to flood your account with fresh capital from external sources. Whether it's freelancing a specific skill or flipping items for profit, your goal is to create a secondary stream that bypasses your daily expenses entirely. Every cent from this new source goes directly into the fortress, creating a compounding effect that shatters your previous expectations. You will claim you don't have the time for this extra effort, but your screen time report tells a much different story. You are currently trading your future freedom for mindless scrolling and digital distractions that leave you empty-handed. Reclaiming those lost hours is the secret weapon that will propel you toward your $10,000 goal faster than you ever thought possible. The confrontation between your old habits and your new mission is reaching a boiling point. You are no longer just a person trying to save money, you are a high-performance machine dedicated to financial dominance. Now that you've identified the hidden capital and the time leaks, it's time to execute the most aggressive phase of the blueprint. You are standing at the edge of a total lifestyle overhaul that most people are too terrified to even consider. It isn't about making small adjustments anymore, it's about a complete scorched earth policy on your unnecessary expenses. You must decide if the temporary comfort of your current habits is worth more than the permanent security of your fortress. Most people fail here because they try to negotiate with their old selves to keep a few luxuries. They don't realize that every compromise is a crack in the foundation of their future financial independence. You are analyzing every single transaction with the cold precision of a forensic accountant looking for a crime. This is where you separate your needs from your wants with surgical intensity and zero emotion. The world will try to convince you that you're being extreme, but being normal is what kept you broke and vulnerable. You are choosing to live like no one else now so that you can live like no one else later. Your mission demands that you stop playing defense and start attacking your debt and your savings goals with relentless force. We are moving beyond the mindset shift and into the raw, tactical execution of the high-velocity flood. Every minute you spend hesitating is another minute your fortress remains unfinished and your future remains at risk. You have done the work, cut the costs, and pushed your income to the absolute limit. For a moment, it feels like the battle is won and the $10,000 is finally within your grasp. You look at your progress and breathe a sigh of relief, thinking the hardest part is behind you. But then, the exhaustion hits you like a physical weight, and the momentum you fought so hard to build begins to stall. Your energy is depleted, and the aggressive lifestyle you have adopted starts to feel unsustainable for another single day. You might feel like you have reached the end of your rope and there is nothing left to give. Many of you will look at a balance that is halfway there and decide that it is good enough for now. You tell yourself that $5,000 is a solid foundation and that the rest can wait for a more convenient season. This is the dangerous plateau where most people stop, thinking they have already crossed the finish line. Just as you consider slowing down, a massive, unforeseen expense hits your account and wipes out weeks of your hard-earned progress. It feels like a punch to the gut that renders all your previous sacrifices completely meaningless in an instant. You are left standing in the ruins of your plan, wondering if the fortress was ever meant to be built. At this point, the logic of giving up seems undeniable and even rational given the circumstances. You start to believe that the system is rigged against you and that a $10,000 fund is a myth for people in your situation. The energy that fueled your start has evaporated, leaving only the cold reality of a depleted bank account. This is where the story usually ends for the average person who tries to change their life. They accept defeat, return to their old habits, and tell themselves that they at least tried their best. You might be tempted to close this video right now, convinced that you have seen enough to know it will not work for you. However, if you stop now, you will miss the single most important component of the entire financial fortress strategy. Everything you have done up to this point was merely the preparation for a final, hidden mechanism that changes the math entirely. You are not failing, you are simply standing at the threshold of the real breakthrough. There is a psychological trigger you have not pulled yet that turns your savings from a static pile of cash into a self-multiplying force. Without this final piece, your $10,000 will always be at risk of disappearing as fast as it arrived. You are about to discover the one secret that ensures your fortress never falls again. Many people reach this stage and assume the hard work is over because they see the numbers finally climbing. They believe that simply hitting the $10,000 mark is the finish line and that they can finally relax their guard. This is the exact moment when the most dangerous trap is set, waiting to dismantle everything you have built. If you stop here, you are essentially building a castle on a foundation of shifting sand. Without the final structural lock, the first major life crisis will not just test your fortress, it will completely demolish it. You will find yourself right back where you started, staring at a zero balance and wondering where all your hard-earned effort went. The truth is that a pile of money is not a fortress unless it is protected by a system of automated replenishment and strategic isolation. You have been focusing so much on the quantity of the cash that you've ignored the quality of its defense. This missing link is what separates those who get rich once from those who stay wealthy for a lifetime. You are currently standing at a crossroads where most people unknowingly choose the path of eventual failure. You think you've won the war, but you've only survived the first skirmish of a much larger conflict. To truly secure your future, you must now implement the final mechanism that makes your financial freedom permanent and untouchable. The final mechanism you've been missing is the transition from manual effort to automated offensive power. You must stop treating your $10,000 as a stagnant pool of safety and start seeing it as a deployed battalion. This is the moment you activate the Fortress Lockdown Protocol to ensure your progress is irreversible. You are moving your fund into a high-yield, isolated account that exists outside your daily vision and reach. By automating the transfer process, you remove the human element of hesitation and the temptation to negotiate with your goals. This separation creates a psychological barrier that makes your fortress invisible to your impulsive self. Now that the foundation is locked, your $10,000 becomes your greatest offensive weapon in the marketplace. You are no longer saving out of fear, you are accumulating capital to seize opportunities that others are too broke to even see. This shift in perspective transforms your emergency fund from a boring safety net into a high-octane freedom fund. Remember the high-intensity income sprints and the aggressive cost-cutting measures you implemented earlier. Those weren't just temporary fixes, they were the training ground for your new identity as a wealth builder. You are now combining that raw earning power with your automated systems to create an unstoppable financial engine. Every dollar you add to your fortress now works harder because you have eliminated the leaks that used to drain your energy. Your momentum is no longer fueled by willpower alone, but by the compounding strength of your new habits and systems. You are witnessing the birth of a self-sustaining cycle where your money generates the peace of mind required to make even more money. The exhaustion you felt earlier was simply your old self dying to make room for the person who actually deserves this level of security. You have pushed through the plateau and realized that the $10,000 mark is not a ceiling, but a new floor. Your standard of living has been replaced by a standard of power and preparation. The conflict between your past limitations and your future potential is finally resolved in your favor. You have successfully rewired your brain to prioritize long-term dominance over short-term gratification. The chaos of the world no longer dictates your emotional state because your fortress is now fully operational and fortified. You have reached the summit of this strategy, and the view from the top is one of absolute clarity and control. The blueprint is complete, and the tools are in your hands to maintain this fortress for the rest of your life. It is time to step into your new reality and execute the final commands that solidify your financial legacy. This final command is the automation of your offense, turning your fortress into a self-repairing shield that requires no manual effort. You must move your $10,000 into a high-yield account that is physically and digitally separated from your daily impulses. By setting up an automated recurring contribution, you ensure the fortress continues to expand even while you sleep. You are no longer saving out of a place of fear, you are accumulating the raw power needed to seize future opportunities. This fund is your elite strike team, ready to deploy the moment a life-changing investment or a bold career pivot appears. You have successfully transformed from a victim of financial circumstances into a predator of market possibilities. Every sacrifice you made and every high-intensity sprint you endured has converged into this single moment of total sovereignty. The surgical budget cuts and the aggressive income generation were the forge that tempered your new financial character. You now possess both the discipline of the wealthy and the tactical tools to defend your freedom against any global storm. The $10,000 is no longer a distant dream but a tangible wall of steel protecting your absolute peace of mind. You have built your financial fortress, and the world looks entirely different when you are no longer one paycheck away from disaster. Take this momentum and move forward with the total confidence that your foundation is now unbreakable. This unbreakable foundation is more than just a number on a screen, it is your ticket to a life lived on your own terms. You can now walk into any room with the quiet confidence of someone who is truly untouchable by economic shifts. The constant background noise of financial anxiety has finally been silenced by the strength of your fortress. You have fundamentally rewritten your family's financial story and set a new standard for what is possible in your life. This legacy of discipline will serve as the blueprint for every major wealth-building move you make from this day forward. Your focus has shifted from surviving the present to dominating the future with absolute precision. Now that your fortress is secure, the real game of wealth creation is just beginning for you. You have proven that you possess the grit and the strategy to achieve what most people only dream of. Do not let this momentum fade, because you are now ready to scale your ambitions to heights you once thought were impossible. But having $10,000 sitting in a fortress is only the first step toward total financial mastery. To truly accelerate your path to millions, you must now learn how to turn that defensive shield into a high-yield offensive engine. Click on the next video to discover the exact strategy for investing your first $10,000 to create generational wealth.